Hey there, all. I just wanted to we'll just do a probably relatively brief episode here in game time around Friday, July 3rd. So we're just a couple days ahead of the real life calendar for the 2026 Red Sox. But I was kind of looking back at when I was doing the video edit for one of the last episodes. I noticed that obviously we had gotten that alert that the focus for John Henry, the owner, had moved from neutral to win now. And really, what triggered off of that was the midseason review of the goals that were set by the owner at the beginning of the year. So while we, in a sense, weren't around to kind of capture what those looked like, we do now have a kind of a pulse check from John as to where the focus for the team should be as we look for the remainder of the year. I know when we first kind of began probably this series, this focus is we kind of probably thought we'd be in a position to maybe sell some current day assets on the roster to maybe stock up on some future talent, some prospect capital, or even just pieces that are ready to play now every day in the big leagues as well, but a bit of a pivot from the team strategy. So I wanted to take a look at the email that he had sent to take a look at what his impressions are so far, and then I think we'll play maybe a series or two, get us a little bit closer to the draft, and then we'll take a pause. So here we got the personal message from the owner, John Henry. Team record, he's happy with the record of 40-40. This was at the time that he had dropped that note on the 26th. Keep up the good work, so he's happy with the team around 500, which, okay, we'll take it. Upgraded position. I didn't expect Carlos Navarez would be a top six catcher by this point. If he can keep it up, I have no doubt this goal will be marked complete at season's end. So that must have been one of the goals, is to have a top six catcher. I don't foresee any changes in our catching position. We'll most likely keep Navarez. Attendance, disappointed in your progress lack thereof, and increasing the number of fans. Um, yeah, we'll have to kind of think about that. I mean, some of that could just be if we get a star here, maybe a Willie Adamas, if we could somehow land a Trout. I'm sure that would put some butts in seats. Again, this is Fenway. I think fans are going to show up. If we do need to maybe drop even ticket prices a spell, we could do that as well. Build the farm. Again, we haven't really done anything to build the farm at this point. He's asked us to improve the farm system. We've done nothing, which I guess, in a sense, if we're a neutral strategy, I guess I understand maybe in that regard that you could then be in a position to maybe acquire some prospects. Obviously, we haven't even have the draft yet, so that comment, I don't put a lot of stock in it. We haven't really had much of an opportunity to do one thing or another at the farm at this point. Draft record, again, not a whole lot there to say right now. And then improve your team record. Still not much improvement in extra inning games. How disappointing. Extra inning games, I'd rather just win in 9. Let's go. During our time working together, I've been ecstatic with your progress towards the goals. That being said, when I look at the team's history on and off the field, my overall impression doesn't rank quite as highly. The final evaluation towards these goals will come at the end of the season. Good luck in the second half. All right. And then I wanted to take a quick look at the prospects as well, the top prospects that are out. Hector Rodriguez, again, some of these with, players at 16, 17, 18 years old, I think it is a little bit silly. Hopefully this is something that the dev team at OOTP can focus on a bit in the future iterations of this game. To have a 16-year-old, and I understand the potential of this guy is off the charts if he does have 4+ pitches and is a pitcher that, I mean, obviously this guy could be a starter, right? And has stuff potential off the charts. All of this stuff is just insane right now. High baseball IQ, low leader, loyalty, work ethic. So a bit of a tough personality profile potentially. But he's 16. He's so far away. I mean, he's an elbow injury, a shoulder injury away from a lot of this stuff just fizzling out because he does have that potential to throw 100 plus. And at 16, he's already throwing 95. So it's just wild. Now, I understand like Max Clark, sure, have that be the top prospect, and even maybe some of these other folks like Liam Doyle, or others that are a little bit, 19, 20, 21, 22, some of those more at the top of the list. But that's where it's at. I want to take a look at the top minor league systems. I just want to see where we currently rank, and we're 24th. So, again, a bit of a struggle there. We're not in a great spot in the organization. The Yankees have a top 10 org with Dax Gilby, uh, Elmer Rodriguez Cruz, Lombard, Lagrange, and Jones filling out the top 100 pretty rightfully so. And the only folks that we have that are in the top 100, and that's really kind of all they look at from a ranking perspective. We have Franklin Arias, who is in AAA, does have some potential. PK Kyson Witherspoon, and then Marcus Phillips, pitcher Marcus Phillips. The P was for the position. So again, nothing too great there, unfortunately. Again, hopefully, maybe we can make some moves potentially. Again, I haven't fully made the decision as to where I want to kind of focus yet for this team. I mean, again, based upon where we are in the standings, especially in that wild card spot, and being in a really good place right now, gotta have to kind of make a continued run. So, all right, let's take a quick look. I do want to look at, and it's probably something I'll do right before the draft, is take a look at the organization, see where some of our strong suits are, or where our players like positions of need, and help that inform our focus into the draft as well. Some of that you're probably just going to take some of the best talent available, but I also want to think about it from a position of need perspective as well. All right, so we're gonna have Sogard coming back soon. Um, I'm unsure as to exactly what that's gonna mean for us. I mean, that's possible. I don't know. I got Monasterio starting at third. I think he's starting at third. I wonder. Another thing I want to look at and put a pin in is also take a look at just some of our stats from June from a team perspective as well as a player perspective, just to keep an eye on some of the trends as to how these players are performing on the field too. Um, and one thing, we'll just take a quick look actually and see if we can do that here as well. I want to see if there's a way. That's the game log. I was trying to see. I wanted to see if I could easily see some of the stats of the game log for a player. Kind of in just like a specific month, but it doesn't look super easy to do. Um, I might have to just dig into that a little bit offline, just to be able to do a little bit of a deep dive um, on that analysis. Because I really would like just to kind of be able to see kind of what players have been doing. Oh, here we go. This is where it is. So batting splits, you can obviously then see it. Yeah, this is perfect. It actually shows all the months versus left, right, this week, last week. So I love this. This is excellent. This is the type of detail I was looking for. So let's look at Roman for an example. So in June, he had a pretty solid June. He played 26 games, had 112 plate appearances, threw up a .7 WAR, 4 home runs in the month, batted 280, a 357 OBP, the 480 slug, stolen base, caught stealing twice, but had a pretty solid month of June. Um, let's also now take a look at Contreras was hurt for a good chunk of that month, but we'll take a look at June. He had 17 games, obviously just a .3. So again, he came off a little bit. He still had 6 home runs though in those 17 games, so he's still showing the power potential for our team, and had a 295 BABIP, which is dropping a bit. His May BABIP was just off the charts. his June has come down a little bit more realistically. Had 4 stolen bases in the month as well. But still pretty solid. Still a positive offensive player at the 105 WRC plus. Strikeout rate was up a bit, a little bit concerning there. And I want to take a look at Casas for sure as well. Batting stats and the splits. Yeah, Casas, pretty solid month. 0.7 WAR, a 123 WRC plus. The 6 home runs. Now this is probably going to also just show. I probably can just look at Major League. Yep, and that takes out his May numbers because it was all AAA stuff. But you can see what he did in the. Again, that's a pretty solid month for him. 6 home runs, 17 ribbies, 254 BABIP. I would love for that to be a little higher with him, as well as his slug. But still, I think that's a pretty solid month of June out of Casas, which I love. I really do. And let's take a look at Meyer, one of our key guys to keep an eye on. June, see, he struggled in June. He had a negative 0.3 WAR, so very small, but just a 62 WRC plus. Only walked 4% of the time, struck out 23. So strikeouts were up, walks down. Not great. Had a pretty rough June. Had a really nice month of May. I mean, a really nice month of May. And then has kind of plummeted. So we'll kind of see where, but again, some of that could even be us kind of pushing him into that spot of playing short to where he's really focusing on that defense to shore that up. So something to keep in mind there as to what could potentially be creating some struggles at the dish for him. And then let's look at Wilyer. I think that's probably the last player we'll look at. Now that I know that this data is here and where to find it. Yeah, pretty solid. Batting average was a little bit of a struggle, but 8 home runs, 18 ribbies, 19 runs scored. Walk rate was up, but his strikeout rate was also up quite a bit, but the walk rate was in a pretty good spot at 8%. So you can love it if he can take his walks, and had a really nice solid 121 WRC plus. So excellent. Yeah, I think, again, I'm pretty happy with where things are at currently. With the team, want to take a quick look at personnel, staff roles. Staff cohesion is content. That's good. The staff is getting along with each other. And then is there a way to see as well? It's somewhere here. I just don't recall off the top of my head where it was. Yeah, here you can see our goals. Don't completely suck this season, upgrade at catcher, increase attendance, which we haven't done a whole lot there. We just got to get it to 31K. Build a top 6 minor league system. Sure. Bring more of your drafted players up, improve your record, keep building your team up. So some of these are like further out. Even the build top 6 minor league system is a 2028 goal. So there's time on that. And really for this year, it's don't be horrible and upgrade at catcher. And really 2 of those goals are easily within reach at this point. I'm trying to see where the here it is. Is it team chemistry? Yep, it's team chemistry. So our staff cohesion from the coaching is content, and our players are happy, which is excellent. So again, the clubhouse mood is really positive right now, as well as the staff cohesion. So again, things are trending in a nice direction for us. But let's hop into this Angel series and see what we have cooking here. We're on the West Coast, so we got a series out west, a day off on Monday, and then we got the White Sox in Chicago. So we're kind of coming across. We're heading out west, and then coming back across the country, stopping in Chicago to play the White Sox, and then landing in New York to play the Mets. And that'll take us into the All-Star break. So we'll probably get to somewhere probably after that Red Sox series, because the draft will be right thereafter. we'll have to take a pause for a bit and do some kind of deep dive analysis on our current organization, kind of at the lower levels of the minor leagues, and begin to develop some thoughts as to where we move forward. All right, but let's play this game. Actually, first things first, let's just take a quick look at the 3-game series. So we got Oviedo going in this first game, Sonny Gray, Connerly Early. They got Trout. I'm still so interested in Trout a little bit, but that contract is rough. I just want for yeah, so he's currently exercising his right to veto any trade. So he is currently not even interested. So if we look at his contract, his current status is he's not willing to waive the no trade clause. I think we looked at this player a month ago, and at that point he was willing to consider trades to a handful of teams, and currently that is completely off the docket. So there's really nothing we could do right now to even acquire Trout because he's not even interested in moving along. And the team is horrible. Like they're not anywhere near contention. And it's just interesting that he's not willing or interested in even even going to a contender at this point. So it is what it is. If he's not willing to, it's his decision. He has that right as the 10-5 player. Game one, an 8-1 win. Very nice. We scored 5 right off in the first, so the bats came right out quick. Contreras a home run. Rafaela a 2-run home run, and then in the ninth, Rafaela hit another 2-run single as well. So the bats came out very early on in this game to prove some value for us. Oviedo pitched really well, just 1 hit in 7 innings, gave up a run, and struck out 9, walked 2. A really awesome game score that he had. What did Mr. Trout do? He was 0 for 4 with 2, no strikeouts, but he left 2 men on base. But again, you can see he's having an unbelievable year with the 25 home runs. But excellent. We'll take a first series game win. Here's another kind of evening game, late East Coast time game out in LA. And another win. Excellent. All right, Sogard's ready to come up. And I think that puts us in a very interesting position. Connor Wong. Who's our backup catcher right now? It is Connor Wong, isn't it? Does Sogard have options left? He does. I'm just unsure. And I like his clubhouse presence. He hasn't really been providing anything offensively. And he's a decent glove. He can play pretty much anywhere on the infield. I just don't know. I just don't know exactly what to do. I don't think I want to do 14-12. I mean, Romy's not going to go down. Monasterio is playing really well. I mean, you wouldn't move down a 2-WAR player. He just wouldn't. So I think what I'm currently going to do is just put Sogard on a rehab assignment, but he probably is going to find himself in Worcester, I believe. This guy, no defensive value, really no bat. I'm not even going to deal with a player like this. So we'll move right on there. And then on this game, we did get a win 5-3. So we've taken the first two in this series. Anthony Abreu did the damage. Abreu again did some damage. Top of the lineup again, really solid. Connolly early, so two strong starting pitching efforts in this series to get us off and rocking. Connolly early to Whitlock to Chapman. That's a winning formula. All right. So that's 2 wins to start off this series. Let's finish off this set. See if we can sweep these guys. Oh, I don't want to play the game. And we got a save. It's a Sunday game save, weekly save. See if we can sweep these guys. Oh, excellent, excellent. 11-7. So the pitching staff wasn't as tight in this one. The 6th inning was a little rough for our starter. Peyton Tolley struggled there. We brought in Sandoval to get us out of that inning. Kalum, Moran, Chapman with a save, his 23rd of the year. Meyer hit a home run. That's good for him. Connor Wong, home run. Contreras, a home run. 4 ribbies for Contreras. 3 for Connor Wong as a backup catcher today. Excellent. Vaughn Grissom had a good day for the Trout hit a home run. Solo shot. That's about all the damage it looks like he did in this series. It was just that 1 home run. So excellent. No, a nice sweep of the Angels. And that's like teams like that, when you can beat up on bad teams, you got to take advantage of it. And let's see where we currently sit. We've won 4 in a row now. We're 8-2 in our last 10. The Blue Jays are kind of matching us stride for stride, as well as the Orioles. The Orioles are playing really well. The top of the Yankees are the only team in the American League East who are not playing super well these last 10 games. So we continue to maybe get a little closer to them, probably about the same as to where we were a week or so ago. And we're just 2 games back from them in the wild card hunt currently. Or we're +2. We're 2.5 from them to take over that top spot in the wild card hunt. But we're in a good spot. We have a little bit of breathing room there in the wild card. Let's sim this next day. That's a day off. And then we got Trevor Story is eligible to come off the IL. So here's going to be somewhere some tough decisions are going to soon have to be made. Because, again, he's going to be a rehab assignment. He obviously has no options. If we waive and designate him and he clears waivers, he's not going to go down to the minor leagues. He'll do a rehab assignment down there, sure, but he's not going to stay there. My initial thought is, because of the contract, he still can play a decent short with a good range, a good arm. Like, he's not horrible in that position today. That we do try to bring him up, see if his bat does turn around, because he had a really good 2025 for the Red Sox. And my thought is that if Meyer is still struggling, that we would just send down Meyer. Sogard would be in AAA, as well as Marcelo Meyer. We bring up Story. He plays short. We got Monasterio then on the infield too. I it's just nervous as to what that creates for us with the what does it do to the moxie, the confidence of Meyer to get shipped down to AAA when the team is back in contention. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. The Yankees are looking to do a deal with us. They're going to send a 24-year-old minor league left-handed pitcher, Tanner Bauman, a 21-year-old minor leaguer, Roderick Arias, who does have some potential, defensively especially, Logan Maxwell. They want Anthony Siegler, a 27-year-old minor leaguer who has good base running capabilities. He's a good clubhouse guy and can play kind of anywhere. His bat potential, nothing great. He's had a nice year in Worcester, a 127 WRC plus 282 batting average. Looks like his fielding value is not awesome. I mean, a 27-year-old positive influence guy in AAA to get this guy is really nothing. It's a big guy, but he has really nothing in his arsenal that screams to me like, oh, we got to get that guy. Now, Roderick Arias, his bat is to be desired. He does have some power in it, but the potential is going to strike out a lot, and he doesn't have a good BABIP. Our scouting on him is pretty low. What does the OSA think of him? Pretty similar. 21. He does bat switch. There's pieces of the defensive profile that I really like. Yeah, I don't know. There's really not a ton there. What I think I might do is just let it sit for a minute, and what I might do is look to get a scouting report on Arias. He's a good base runner. He has some good defensive capabilities. So there is some potential value there. I just don't know what I don't know yet. And again, it's like one of those deals where it's probably like a no harm deal. I'm giving up a 27-year-old AAA platoon player who might just spot start for us, but probably has real no true spot on the team in the future. So it's probably really of no harm to us. All right, we're now into Tuesday here. We got this series against the the White Sox coming up. Let's take a quick look at what they have. They're playing really well this year. The White Sox are for the team that was super horrible last year. Got Davis Martin against Ronher Suarez. We got Shane Smith against Sonny Gray, and Oviedo against Mason Adams, who has not thrown too many games this year. Yeah, they got the Kyle Teal. Got that in the trade that the Red Sox made to get Crochet. So he is definitely proved to be a solid one. He's a solid catcher, but he also has just an interesting bat profile with good contact, a really strong eye, which you can see. I'm going to see what his walk ratio is. Yeah, he walks 11% of the time. He strikes out a fair amount. If he could get that avoid K up there a little bit, you'd see a little more out of him, but a solid player there for sure. Awesome. So let's just run through this series as well. Again, we're currently 47 and 42, so we're +5 in the win column now. And another trade proposal. Let's take a quick look at what they said here. on Arias. So Tom McNamara took a look at him. Current rating, current ability is rated as a 30 out of 80. Relative to the MLB, his potential is a 45. He's Hudson Valley, South Atlantic League, soft hands with a defender's instincts, plays the game with great energy and drive, fluid swing, shows above average power potential. He's an average runner at best. Arias is projected to fill an injury replacement or reserve role in the majors as a below average third baseman. So I think, I mean, it wasn't a wowzer type of thing. I think I'm just going to reject that trade. Probably more so just because it's the Yankees and I just don't even want to open up the door to them currently. And again, it's not like Arias is this rock star potential player. It's possible that we could turn him into something, but I just don't think the third base position is a spot of need for us currently. Again, because we got Story, we got Marcelo who can play third pretty solidly and has a more positive bat than Arias. And we got a win in this game, 10-6, and this was quite interesting. They scored 5 in the bottom of the first. We scored 6 in the top of the second to go up 6-5. We tacked on some more later on in the game to get ourselves some more breathing room, and some nice hits across the lineup, both top and bottom. Meyer 2 for 4. Home runs out of Monasterio. That was it. Doubles, Casas, Meyer had 2 doubles. Nice to see him putting some balls in the gap there at, what is this, Comiskey Park, whatever they call it. Rate Field, is that what it's really called today? Freddie Peralta got rocked. They have Freddie Peralta? They trade for him? 7/7/2026. Wow. Freddie Peralta was traded by the Mets to the White Sox for Caleb Bonemer, who does have some potential, Blaine Winnick, and Ryan Smith. So this guy definitely is the top of that from a potential. And yeah, this very interesting bat profile with plus gap power, plus eye, and has a good BABIP potential. So he definitely was a headliner of that deal and can play a solid third and 20 years of age. And look at the numbers he was throwing up. In just high A ball, a 2.8 WAR, striking out a good chunk of time. He does strike out quite a bit. He probably will his entire career, but he's walking 13% of the time in that 20 home run number that he was throwing up. That ISO is pretty high. And he's got a good speed profile. Like, he can steal some bags with above average speed. So an interesting prospect there that the Mets picked up. And I think Peralta was looking for a contract. I don't think he's yet secured one. Yeah, so this is currently just a rental for the White Sox, but that's a sign for them that they're all in on this run. They're gonna look to acquire some assets to move ahead. But we roughed him up. That was probably his first start, maybe his second. Nope, that was his first start for the White Sox since coming over from the Mets, and we greeted him to say, "This is the American League, buddy. You better bring your A game." All right, game 2 of this set in Chicago, 4-2 win in 10 extra inning win. Hey, John Henry, look at us. That's a W in extra innings. Chalk that up to our stats, please. So excellent job here for the team. Oviedo, solid work. Got a no decision. Colum blew his save. Chapman gets the W as we got the lead probably in the top of the 10th, which we did. And then we brought in Whitlock to get us the save. Again, a solid pitching score out of Oviedo. Pitched really well. They must have had an injury. Davis Martin was injured while pitching. Back injury, herniated disc. That's not great news. But again, a nice win in extra innings. How did we get that? Top of the 10th, Casas, a 2-run a run scoring single for us, which is excellent. Just taking a quick look at some of the stats for the guys. Yeah. I think what we'll do, I want to just take a quick look. I'm not going to bring up Story yet. I'm going to let him do his thing on the rehab assignment for at least a little bit here. Yeah, he's only played 2 games so far, 5 plate appearances, and has a -4 WRC plus. Yikes. But we're going to be put in a tough spot with that contract. Like that one in the Yoshida deal. Oh man, I'm just dreading. I just don't know what we do with those contracts. All right, let's see if we can get a series sweep here on Thursday, July 9th. And we lose this one. So 6-3 loss. Let's see how this one played out. Looked like it was 3-3 going into the later innings, and we gave up. They scored 2 in the 7th, another one in the 8th, and we weren't able to climb back. So a little unfortunate that we had the game kind of within our reach into the last third of that game and couldn't get some runs across to get us the win. Weiser struggled there a little bit in that 7th inning, gave up some runs. But still, again, all in all, so far a good solid road trip that we're at 5-1 through these first 6 games, heading into New York to play the Mets, who are 44-50. So they're 6 games under 500. We're 6 games above 500, and you got to think that we're carrying in some momentum. You know, they're looking to maybe even trade some pieces to acquire some talent for future runs. And just an unfortunate story that team is currently with just not being able to contend with all the money they've spent. But I think that's where kind of we'll pause it again, because we do have, again, the first year player draft is coming up on Saturday the 11th. So I think we'll kind of just pause it here. We are right, just to make a couple closing comments here. We're a game back now of the Yankees to slide into the second place spot in the American League East. So quite a little run this team has been on since we've taken over this squad. I want to take a quick look at the team home screen and look at info, team stats, and again, as you can see it here, June 18-9, July so far 6-1. So that's 24-10. That's a plus 14 in the win column in the last 6 weeks. So this team is playing really good ball. As you can see now, our batting average is even 3rd in the American League. We still don't have the power, I would say. If we look at home runs, yeah, we're still 12th in the American League. But we're having a solid on batting average and on base percentage. So we're getting guys hits. We're getting on base and been able to score some runs. Our runs is still 10th in the AL, so we're still a little bit reliant on the pitching, which is unbelievably solid, as you can see in those stats. Our pitching is, top 3 in a lot of categories of importance. But yeah, still some exciting momentum that this team is continuing to carry. The Tampa Bay Rays are just running away with this division, but we've put ourselves in a spot to just control that wild card, put a really big foothold in the wild card chase, and to maybe have our eyes set on what can we do here to acquire a piece or two to really secure a deep run into the playoffs for this team. So we'll take a look at a few of those things in our next episode. We'll also take a look at some of the talent we have at some of the lower leagues and the minor leagues, some of the talent in the organization and our lower divisions of the organization and AAA, AA, and such things, and get a game plan for the draft coming up right around the corner. And yeah, the only thing I'll take a quick look at, I just want to see if I take a look at transactions. Liam Hendriks is on the waiver wire. Okay. Yeah, I mean, nothing I don't think that I'm overly interested in. Would be a horrible bullpen piece, though. Yeah. What I was more interested in coming to look at was the trade block. So yeah, we might even just take a quick look at some of the players that have been put out there on the trade block within the league. It looks like we have it set on all. I just want to take a look at the batters, really, to see who's out there. Mosier batting, let's look at that. Yes, I like this a lot. Randy Arozarena is on the block. Brandon Lowe, Dalton Varsho, Ryan O'Hearn, Springer, Christian Walker, Willie Adames is on the block, which I love to kind of see. There's Duran. We still have him out there. But yeah, that's the one of the players that's in the back of my head as well is Willie. I like the captain personality. His contract I don't love a ton, but it's only through his age 35 year. It doesn't get any worse than this. It's just 26 million every year. Right-handed bat. We're going to scout him. He's been a subpar offensive player for them this year, but he's still bringing positive WAR overall because I'm sure his fielding stats are solid. Zone rating of 1.1. I'm not even sure how to read some of those stats, but obviously there's enough there at that fielding perspective that it is bringing him some really good potential. Yeah, he had a pretty solid June actually. He's kind of struggled now here to start off July, but had a fairly solid June. I like his injury proneness. He's an Iron Man, which is so much different than Trevor Story. But that's something that maybe again we'll dive into there, maybe just a little bit down the road to take a little more of a look at what is out there for the trade block. But Adames, I think, is definitely one of the kind of one of the prizes in that. Looking at just WAR, Brandon Lowe's had a really solid year for Pittsburgh as well. Got the power out of him. He's probably on a so his contract is expiring at the end of the year. He's throwing up a 166 WRC plus with 26 home runs. Wowzers. Strong work ethic. That's an enticing one as well. He is durable. Former Tampa Bay Ray. So we'll take a look at him too. Just that power potential is so interesting. He plays a decent second base. It's not crazy, but that power is what I'm so interested in as we move a little bit further ahead. So, again, we'll do a quick save. Definitely appreciate you all tuning in, and we'll get into some more items in our next episode. Thanks all.